fans, the Lions, a hot ticket, sharing first with their division rivals, the Minnesota Vikings, their opponent today, as we begin your Thanksgiving football feast on CBS.
It's Thanksgiving time in America, when families all gather around the kitchen, the dining room table, and the television. There's way too much food and way too many people, but gosh darn it, Americans like it that way. Except in Detroit, that is. In Detroit, we like to celebrate the holiday, well, differently. We like to take a little drive downtown. It all goes back to the very beginnings of NFL football in Detroit, long before minivans and SUVs, when the cars symbolized something in the Motor City, and far, far beyond. It symbolized freedom, you know, the freedom to pack up the family and go somewhere, wherever you wanted. 82 years is a lot of time, of course. People change. Societies change. Cars change. It's striking to think about what stays constant all the while. Just as nature reassures you it knows what time of year it is, the idea that wherever life takes you, there are always places that feel like home, that you can go back to. And of course, when you get there, it helps to have some food on hand. Like I said, in Detroit, we do Thanksgiving a little different. We go to the field. We set up the food in the parking lot. And we celebrate it like one big family. Just the way we always have. Just the way we always will.
What a play! Wide open! Magnificent!
Greetings from Detroit. Enjoy the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement in the air here. Never a dull moment with these Detroit Lions at 6-4, taking on the Vikings. Identical mark, 6-4, and there they are, sitting atop the NFC North. One team's going to walk away today, leaders of this division. Hello, friends, and happy Thanksgiving. Jim Nance along with Phil Sims, Tracy Wolfson, Jay Feely, on behalf of all the men and women of CBS Sports, in particular this crew. It's great to have you with us. Great to be with you again on this special holiday.
It's awesome to be here, Jim. Happy Thanksgiving to you, my family, everybody out there. Sit back, enjoy a great game, because we're going to have one here today.
Pretty neat to think we've got a first-place showdown. That's not something we've come every time to Detroit and face. I'm grateful for the fact we got a very meaningful game here today.
Well, I'm very grateful, too. You know, the city's on fire. We came over here at 9 o'clock this morning. The streets are already packed with Detroit Lion fans. But when you talk about the Detroit Lions in this game today, it's about Matthew Stafford on the offensive side. 6 wins, 6 comeback victories by this quarterback, and he's doing it when he needs it most. There's an air of confidence on the football team, and it comes from the fact the way he's playing. Then you talk about the Minnesota Vikings, it's about their defense. They got an excellent defensive line, tremendous defensive backs. They're led by Mike Zimmer, the head coach. He's turned his defense around in 3 years, and that'll be the story of this game here today. Who can win that battle?
So these teams met just 18 days ago, and it went to overtime with the Lions winning it. First possession touchdown. It's time for the Tools for Success presented by Home Depot.
Well, the Detroit Lions have a wide receiver in Golden Tate. They got to find ways to get him the football. He can take a 2-yard gain and turn it into a 15-yard gain. Dynamic with the football. And for the Minnesota Vikings, Cordell Patterson has come along, finding ways to get him the football. Another big playmaker. Minnesota, it's all about the defense. You've heard it. Can they get to Matthew Stafford and ruin this Lions offense? That'll be a key today. And for the Detroit Lions, the franchise, Matt Stafford, the offensive line, make sure you keep him upright so he can make the plays to help you win the game.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, Miss Aretha Franklin.
say, can you see my dawn's early light was so bright? We hailed, and the twilight's last gleaming. Whose road stripes and bright stars through the perilous, the perilous flight over the ramparts we was so gallant, streaming, and the rockets red glare, yeah, the bombs bursting in air gave through the night that our flag it was still there. Oh, say can and say does the star-spangled banner yet away over the land of life. It is the land of the free, the free, and the home, the home of the home of, yeah. We are the home of the brave. Oh, yeah. The home of the brave. The home of, the brave.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
After that stirring, memorable national anthem presentation by Aretha, we are ready to get going here at Ford Field. This game being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. Battle for first place here in Detroit. Lions having won 4 of their last 5. The Vikings last week snapping a 4-game losing streak with a win over Arizona. Andre Roberts waiting for the kick. Kai Forbath delivers it 7 yards deep and will bring out Matthew Stafford and the Lions offense to the 25. This team brings every game, it seems, down to the wire. They've trailed in all 10 games this year in the fourth quarter, winning 6 of them. And you see Stafford, what he's done on Thanksgiving Day, having won the last 3 years. They've got a fine left tackle rookie there, Decker. Ebron posted his best career numbers in that first matchup against the Vikings, 7 catches for 92 yards. And the Lions are ready to go. Stafford in the last 2 Thanksgiving games, 7 touchdowns, no picks, including the 5 last year against Philadelphia. Out with a quick toss over to Golden Tate. Wiggles past Smith, but Smith able to recover and get on his back after a 3-yard gain. Minnesota's defense, George Edwards, the coordinator. Griffin, he's got 6 sacks on the season. Barr, the former first rounder out of UCLA. Mentioned Harrison Smith, one of the best at his position. Wayne starts today as Terrence Newman is out with a neck injury. In fact, there is Newman, who just played in his 200th game Sunday against the Cardinals, and he's a scratch for this one. They let him warm up, and he is not ready to go. Here's the handoff to Riddick. And it'll set up 3rd and about 4. And how about this matchup, Phil? Lions offense against this Vikings defense.
Well, I'll just say this about the Detroit offense. It's a different offense now than we've seen in the past. It's not, let's look at Calvin Johnson when he's one-on-one and throw the football up. It's a more thinking man's offense. Matthew Stafford is more a facilitator, really just kind of works the defense. A lot of short throws. Those short throws, they do those in the place of runs a lot of times.
Like they did on first down.
That's exactly right.
A little pass over to Tate, who picked up 3. Now they face 3rd and 3. And across the middle, he's got an open man. And that is Anquan Bolden, the 14-year veteran who Jim Caldwell is glad to have on his Lions roster this year. Coach Caldwell in his 3rd year, 24-18 record. Telling us his guys never feel a game is out of reach.
No, they shouldn't.
Flinch. Never flinch is what he says.
Of course, you don't flinch when you got a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, who's made so many big plays in the fourth quarter down to the wire. And not just plays that are there, he makes them up by moving or making great throws.
All right, Riddick with the run here. And he's ridden down by Anthony Barr. Caldwell felt the key for his team today, get down to one thing: turnovers. He knows the Vikings are great at generating takeaways.
They are. They got a defense that's fast. Mike Zimmer coaches them aggressively. How about this? You don't hear this too often. He also said, if we could run for 100 yards, he would think that would be a big deal. That's the goal for this Detroit offense. Can they gain 100 yards rushing the football to keep Minnesota honest on the defensive side?
Vikings with 20 takeaways. That's the 2nd highest total in the league. And the Vikings defense, number 3 overall. 2nd and 9, draw play with Riddick. And Riddick's going to have that first down to the 50. Got away from Chad Greenway and makes a nice little burst.
Well, it's kind of a sprint draw. That's what it is. And you think he's going to the left side, so the defense reacted. And then a nice cut, good block by Larry Warford and Travis Swanson, the right guard and center. That's what you do. The quick throws outside by Matthew Stafford. They count as runs almost in this offense. Draw plays, probably the 2 best ways they move the ball on first down.
Riddick already with 3 carries, 17 yards. Picked up a couple of first downs. Now take the snap from the Minnesota side of the field. Play action. Stafford look deep and now goes mid-range to an open target. And out of bounds, Marvin Jones Jr. at the 29. Gain of 20.
Well, they clear it out on one side. Marvin Jones is going to come across, and they get the guys down the field, and Matthew Stafford waits on it and just makes the throw. Look at that little cut. Clear out by Ebron. You got to worry about him, the tight end, because he's big, he's fast. The best thing he does is run routes, catch footballs. Not a great blocker, but when you can run and catch as a tight end, you don't have to be a great blocker.
Wayne Washington, rookie running back out of the University of Washington, takes the handoff here, bowing ahead and taking a couple of players with him to about the 25, gain of 5. You look at the Lions, after losing 9 consecutive Thanksgiving Day games, they've peeled off now 3 consecutive wins.
We were here for some of those losses.
Yes.
And we saw records set, right, by some quarterbacks.
Peyton Manning had a banner day here.
Tom Brady.
They've averaged almost 40 points a game the last 3 Thanksgiving performances. And they're driving here on the first series of the game.
Couple good runs, got to be a good sign for this Detroit Lions offensive line and team.
2nd and 5. Stafford, he's 4 for 4 now as he finds Jones for the 2nd time. Right in front of Rhodes for a pickup of 8.
Well, we've shown a couple run plays what they do, but getting rid of the football quick is a theme in the NFL now. Boy, really good over-the-top throw over the defensive lineman that time by Matthew Stafford. But didn't he get a little smile on his face when I talked about the offense? It's not just throw it down the field, big plays and all that. I said, now it's, you know, I said the word like a facilitator, and it's more about beating them in a different way, and it's fun to do that as a quarterback, and he agreed, and you can see it in his face. He enjoys this offense and the style they're playing.
An offense without the retired Calvin Johnson. They've had to adjust this year. And they've got a lot of people involved. 1-yard pickup that time by Riddick. So Jim Bob Cooter came over last season during the middle of the year. And if you take since week 10 last year, Stafford, just to give you an example of how this offense has clicked, has thrown 37 touchdowns versus only 7 interceptions since week 10 last year.
Yep, that's
37 and 7.
Been a good connection, no question about it. And of course, it's changed the offense quite a bit this year, like you said.
2nd and 9. This will be the 10th snap for the Lions. And he kept it over 6 minutes at the beginning of this game. Steps up and now tucks it under. Moves it inside the 10 before Greenway drags him down.
And here's what I mean. The short passes, and he's been much more active moving in the pocket and running with the football this year. I mean, he's not going to run down there and get you 20 yards, but what he does, these runs and his movement gives him throws, and it keeps situations like this in their favor. 3rd and short. They went head first, which I would say, hey, pretty valuable, man. Slide when you can.
Got a 3rd and 2. Scrambled for 7.
Golden Tate in the backfield.
Look one way, now goes to the middle. And it is hauled in by Bolden in traffic. 1st and goal to go.
Really good job. Matt Stafford wants to go to his right. There's nothing there, doesn't like it. So he moves in the pocket, and look at this little sidearm flip to Bolden for the 1st down. This is what he does better than maybe any quarterback in the NFL. He can adjust his arm and make the throw from any angle with any speed and has great touch. He's got it all.
1st and goal. Bolden picking up 1st downs on a couple of 3rd down receptions. And they're going to go up top here. Stafford sidearms it. Got the open man. It's Bolden again for the touchdown.
How about the play of the offensive line? I know he had to move twice. He moved that time, but he only moved because nobody was open. So the blocking is tremendous. He stepped up to get away from the pressure. And another sidearm delivery. Anquan Bolden, top of your screen, going across, sees his quarterback move. He stops and goes back outside. That's a veteran move that we've seen him do many times.
Yeah, he got away from Wayne's, talking about Bolden. Wayne starting in place of Terrence Newman. Stafford with his 100th touchdown here at Ford Field. And the extra point by Prater makes it 7-0. What a way to start. Keeping the football for more than half of the opening quarter. And the Lions put up 7 to start. Stafford again, number 100. 100th touchdown pass at Ford Field. Opens the game 6 for 6, 46 yards, the touchdown to Bolden, who caught 3 on that drive.
Well, that drive had everything you wanted. Possess the football, run the football, some good pass protection, movement by your quarterback.
Or Darrell Patterson, leader in the league, kickoff return average, and had a big run back last week. Not going to run this one out. We'll see Bradford and the Vikings in a moment. Ford Museum in nearby Dearborn. Some of our crew went over and had a great time of it, raved about it this week. Bradford and the Vikings take the field after the Lions kept the football for 7:46. There's a pass to Rudolph for a quick 5. Sam Bradford was here in Detroit last year with the Eagles, but was injured, out with a shoulder and concussion. So he stood on the sidelines and watched the Eagles get demolished by Detroit. But this is his first Thanksgiving Day performance in the NFL. Clemmings over to left tackle. This is a big part of the story for the Vikings this season. And Patterson moves up to a starter today because Diggs is out with a knee. And that's a big loss. Here's the handoff to McKinnon. Looks like he has the first down. So this Lions defense, including Ziggy Ansah, who had 3.5 sacks in the Thanksgiving game against the Eagles last year. Whitehead, who makes a lot of plays, and a secondary that's thankful that it does not have to see Stephon Diggs today, who's had a huge year, 3rd in the league in receptions with 67 catches, but out with that knee injury. First down out of the gun, and a quick throw over to Patterson, who they've gotten more involved in the offense of late.
Yes, well, they need guys that can make big plays. All NFL offenses need a person or 2 people that can catch a short pass and gain those extra yards. But you're looking at this offense. It's a spread offense more now under Pat Shurmur. They get rid of the football much quicker. And what does that do? Well, it takes the hits away from Sam Bradford. It helps the offensive line and get the hands into the football into the hands of guys that can do something with it.
You saw number 11 Treadwell come to the sidelines. Treadwell, their first-round pick, getting his first career start today. And quick pass over to Thielen. And Thielen's been a nice surprise this season, hauling in his 38th catch of the year. The former undrafted player out of Minnesota State picks up 8. Get the CBS Sports app for inside access to Minnesota, Detroit, or your favorite team. Everything you need to stay close to the action right through the playoffs. Download the CBS Sports app today.
Both of these teams are, that screen pass to the outside we just saw. Everybody's doing it in the NFL. The defenders have kind of caught up to it. But these 2 teams do it well because the quarterbacks can get it out there fast, accurate, and with power.
There's Bradford. Down the middle and got another target. It's Rudolph with his second grab. And that's down to the Detroit 34. Gain of 18.
Comes across the field, Rudolph, number 82. Good receiving tight end, big target, zone defense. Boy, Mike Zimmer said that, I don't care what you think about Sam Bradford as a quarterback, his career, give him time. He is as accurate as a thrower as there is in the NFL.
These 2 quarterbacks are 10 for 10 combined at the start. McKinnon had nowhere to run as Tavon Wilson, the former Patriot, stops him after a gain of just a yard. So the Vikings playing their first Thanksgiving game since 2000 down at Dallas, having last played here in 1995. It's the only time, in fact, they've lost on Turkey Day was the 95 occasion against the Lions. Second and 9. Looking to the line and back to Thielen, who's wrapped up around the neck. Tackle again by Wilson, but it'll be 3rd down coming up. 3rd and about 3.
It must be terrible to be a defensive lineman in the NFL now because everybody, we judge them what, Jim? By the sacks. And we're seeing 2 teams. How about Sam Bradford? How quick he's catching the football. They're playing zone defense, so there's little gaps in there to throw it. And he's getting rid of it so fast. The Detroit Lions were hoping their defensive line could be the difference in this game today against a reshuffled offensive line.
Got Asiata in the backfield for this third down snap. Off the hands of Rudolph, and a flag is thrown right there on the spot.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 24 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Called on Nevin Lawson, so the Vikings will keep on marching, trying to match what the Lions did with their first drive.
Yeah, good break. And
they spot the football at the 22.
Detroit so far on the defensive side been very careful.
Running on first down with McKinnon. Got a couple. This Thanksgiving night, have an adventure with comedy. Joel McHale stars in a new episode of The Great Indoors right after The Big Bang Theory on America's #1 network. So the quarterbacks have not missed here in this opening period. Bradford's 5 for 5. The battle of two former #1 overall draft picks. Stafford in 2009, the first selection. Bradford in 2010 by the Rams. Here's a 2nd and 8. From behind, he's hit. He threw it. They didn't see it on the field. On the field, they're calling it a fumble, and Nata runs with it. Now, was it a throw, or did that ball just come flying out of his hand because of the contact?
I think the contact brought it out. That's T.J. Clemmings, the left tackle. Ziggy Ansah, no sacks so far this year. Top of your screen. Let's see. That's a fumble.
I'm not so sure, but we'll see.
Sure?
No. That hand was moving forward. It's close. Sam Bradford ruling on the field was a fumble. Carl Cheffers is still
good shot
under
right
the hood.
here.
Now he's coming out.
Arms coming forward. His hand is still on it. Yep, that's going to, I think you're right. It's going to be an incomplete pass.
Looked to still have control even as he was being hit.
After review, the ruling on the field has been changed. It is an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd and 8 at the 20-yard line. Please put 2:10 on the game clock.
And by the way, puts the football back at the 20 of Detroit. It'll be 3rd and 8 coming up.
This play illustrates a lot of things. One, it illustrates the size of Sam Bradford's hands, which I said to you last night, my gosh, he's got hands that are extra long even for a quarterback. But now we see why they throw the football so quick, because they worry about that offensive line. T.J. Clemmings, second year, played right tackle, been moved to left tackle. Thought he did a really pretty good job last week against the Arizona Cardinals. But Ziggy Ansah, he's healthy. Once that first sack, tough matchup for him on the left side.
Bet with him on Tuesday. You sense he might come up with a sack or two today after monster numbers in this spot last year and healthy, ready to go. 3rd and 8. Pass is up in the air and intercepted. That is Glover. Quinn taken off down the sideline. Thielen tries to get the angle on him, and Asiata finishes him off. Now we have a flag back there where the pass was thrown. That was Treadwell, the rookie, who could not get a firm grasp of it. A 71-yard return by Quinn.
To me, it looked like great coverage by Darius Slay. He anticipated the route by Treadwell. He was on the inside.
And Bradford has only thrown 2 interceptions in 10 games.
Which is amazing, because he's been under a lot of pressure in those 10 games.
And this one, if it is one, is not his fault. Everybody is retreating, heading back.
Pass interference, defense, automatic, first down.
Never identified the culprit, but pass interference.
Well, it's
and the Vikings have the first down.
Yeah, it's got to be Darius Slay. He was in the coverage. Let's see what he does. Well, he put his hands on him, and Tough call. Tough call. Never grabbed him, never turned him, did anything. And Darius Slay, one of the unknown, really good corners in the NFL, a lot of times they will match him up against the other team's best receiver. But I think Bradford threw this football behind just like that because he saw Slay getting ready to cut in front of Treadwell.
I saw a little tug on the jersey up around the shoulder, which you can't do. Right. So now 2 takeaways overturned, 1 by review, 1 by penalty. And the Vikings have a first down at the 15. McKinnon breaks out of the ankle tackle and falls forward for 1.
Now, Jared McKinnon, primary running back for this team. And the one thing, look, ex-quarterback in college, you've heard that. But Mike Zimmer said what? I need him to run harder. Don't look for something special. You know, when your offense struggles to protect the quarterback and even to run the football, they need those tough 2- and 3-yard runs.
See, he's averaging under 3 yards a carry. Like to see him run like he did in that Monday night game against the Giants. That's the one they refer to.
Let it go.
2nd and 9. And that's Rudolph. Shoved out near the first. It'll be very close.
Until this football, most of these passes are getting out in under 2 seconds. They're just catching it and letting it go.
Going to be a first down to where they spotted it here. They put it all the way to the 5. I thought it was closer to the 6.
Kyle Rudolph, they'd like to.
Watch where he goes out here, Phil. They mark it right at the 5.
That's where the football is. It's close. I'd say it's just outside the 5, yes.
But first and goal. No challenge. Asiata gets the handle. Asiata to the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Well, the power runner, it's his 5th touchdown of the year. And he doesn't have many decisions to make. Good double team inside. Kyle Rudolph gets a good block. TJ Clemmings, excellent block on the outside.
5th rushing touchdown of the season. The penalty on Slay kept this drive going, and of course prevented the interception, and Detroit setting up shop deep in the Minnesota side of the field off that long return. Forbath for the extra point. 2 drives in this game, 2 touchdowns. That pass interference call was huge. Asiata finishes it off to a fast start here. Out of here. This marks, by the way, the 60-year anniversary since CBS first broadcast a Thanksgiving Day game. Green Bay against Detroit, 1956. The announcers back then, Harry Wismer and Hartley Anderson. As we got a run back here by Roberts. And he lost his footing on the cut. 25-yard return. We'll bring out Stafford.
On behalf of the National Football League and our crew down here on the field, we would like to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving.
We saw them all last night at a Thanksgiving dinner we have at CBS. The officials came over, and let me just say this, Jim Nance. They were not shy at the buffet line.
Well, you would have to be strategically well placed, as you were,
yes,
to be able to make that observation.
I watch everything.
Outstanding night it was.
It was a great night. It was good to see them come over, and of course, big dinner always the night before Thanksgiving with the whole crew. A lot of fun.
That's the best part of it, being together with their NFL and CBS football family. Here's the first down snap coming from the 20. See if the Lions can keep doing what they did in the first series. Begin it with a little toss over to Andre Roberts, his 8th catch of the year. He's good for 5.
Trey Waynes, well, they can't afford to lose him with Terrence Newman out. Now, he's been all over the coverage, 2 plays and 2 completions against him.
And they're also without Marcus Sherrills, so they're already down 2 defenders. He's inactive, Sherrills, because of an ankle injury and a hip issue as well. Mackenzie Alexander has already put the helmet on and walked to the defensive huddle. As Waynes, who got turned around on the Bolden touchdown play, comes to the sideline.
Well, you got turned around. That was not his fault. You know, you blame the pass rushers. Keep the quarterback in the pocket, because Anquan Bolden, you know, he let the quarterback escape. Hard to redirect as a defensive back.
How about that first quarter?
Sharp, a lot of fun, a lot of action.
7-7 after 1. You're watching the NFL on CBS. We're back in Detroit. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, Tracy Wilson, Jay Feely, and all the crew. 7-7 game after 1. Here are the Lions facing a 2nd and 5 from the 25. Their first drive, as you see Washington carry it for just a couple. That first drive, they ran for 29 yards after having only 14 rushing yards Sunday in the win against Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville. One of them said they're one of the best 2-win teams I've seen, and I'm saying that myself too. So they're tough to run against. I know this. Mike Zimmer was upset about his defensive line the first time they played this Detroit offense. I think right now we're going to see a little pressure because he wants to see if they can block them one-on-one.
They split out Riddick for 3rd and 3. He's at the top. It's to Tate, and he got between 2 defenders. He takes off for extra yardage. Golden Tate for 19. He scored the game winner 18 days ago against Minnesota in overtime.
You're seeing the difference in this offense. The quick throws, he comes underneath, and Golden Tate, once he catches the football, he is a running back. That's what high school running back, a little deception coming underneath, and you're going to need more than just hit him with the shoulder. Great athlete, good hands. College, he was drafted in baseball, so this guy, not surprising, turned into be a terrific wide receiver in the NFL.
Meantime, you may have seen it. Stafford, first time ever, starts a game 8 for 8. Protected, fires it, his first incompletion. Could have been caught. Tate should have had it. Let's go down to Tracy. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Thanks, and to you too. Detroit has played on Thanksgiving since 1934. It was really all a ploy for then owner George Rogers to drum up some interest for the team. It was a sold-out crowd, much like today, a lot on the line. You can feel the buzz inside the stadium. You could feel the buzz amongst the fans. Matthew Stafford, it's the biggest one for him, guys, and he said it's an honor to play on Thanksgiving, but even more when there's something on the line, Jim.
Yeah, it's nice to see. It's been a long time since you've had a game so meaningful here in Detroit. That's only the 3rd time since 1960. A game for first place on Thanksgiving, and that's over the head of Marvin Jones. Waynes, who's back out there after missing a couple of plays, shaken up. He was defended. And let's take a look now from our nationwide sky cam. Now, 3 times in 57 years, a Thanksgiving game has pitted 2 teams tied for first place.
Love it. Good start by Matthew Stafford. Missed the throw. Pressure last time made him miss the in cut. But very good coverage by Trey Waynes.
Hey, we're good. Tell it.
He's back. Riddick. Into the backfield for 3rd and 10. Stafford. He's taken off. He knows where he has to go, and he has it for the first down.
Well, what happened that time? Glasgow, the left guard, gets beat, so that makes Matthew Stafford, watch this right here, he gets beat, so the pressure makes him step up, and then since they're playing tight man-to-man coverage down the field, nobody watching the quarterback, and I think it's pretty evident if you watch Detroit Lions football that he's moving around more, taking advantage of defenses that lose their rush lanes, let him run up in there.
Now for the Vikings 44, it's Washington, and he's contained again for 2. Game day makes football family. And this holiday season, the NFL is celebrating football families of all kinds and the incredible ways that game day brings people together. Happy Thanksgiving to all of the football families celebrating the holidays and game day together. For more about football families, visit NFL.com/Thanksgiving. Awesome sight. Side by side, Lions and Vikings in the division standings and in the stands. 2nd and 8. Flings it sidearm in the direction of Ebron. And 3rd and 8 coming up.
That time they had a blitz, caught him on the pass. Captain Munnerlyn came off the slot, so Matthew Stafford had no choice but just to throw it away.
They have faced already 4 third down situations. They've converted all of them.
Keep thinking they're going to maybe keep a couple guys in there to help pass protect, but they're letting this offensive line go one-on-one against this Minnesota defensive line.
Stafford throws it over the head of Jones. And Stafford hit the floor after releasing that pass.
Well, that time they just got him one-on-one inside. Travis Swanson, the center.
He got pushed back, and this is Jones with the coverage here by Waynes.
They got beat by Tom Johnson. Good inside pressure. Something they didn't do at all in the first game, and they were hoping to do here today. They had a couple in that series.
Sam Martin leads the league in net average. Doesn't have a chance to really help his net average here. Punting from the 42. Average is 46 yards a punt. Take something off of it. Thielen waves the arm at the 11. So, Bradford, 6 out of 7 on the opening drive. Took him the distance. They're coming back out, tied at 7. For the Vikings, break huddle after a 12-play, 75-yard drive. The first time they had it, they had 2 turnovers overturned, one by penalty, one by review, and there's the pass across the middle to Thielen, and he scatters for about 5 this season. It's been a most interesting season so far for Minnesota. All these injuries, Bridgewater and Peterson, and they start the season 5-0 and hold their opponents under 13 a game, and then all of a sudden things start happening. Norv Turner resigns as offensive coordinator, replaced on an interim basis by Pat Shurmur. They lose 4 in a row before winning last Sunday. And all the while, they've battled injuries on that offensive front. That line has been saddled with 6 different injuries. 2nd and 5, and there's a great example of it. As McKinnon never had a chance, Bynes was all over him.
Well, Bynes read to play. 57, timed the snap count perfectly, and there's nothing the offensive line could do to react to that. But you talk about that, what's going on with the team. Once they lost, what did Harrison Smith tell us? That the defense started overplaying. You know, you talked about Norv Turner resigning, so they've changed the offense. They've had Wildcat in there now. They're throwing the ball quicker, just trying to change it up to do what? To protect this offensive line and find different ways to move the football.
3rd and 8. That was a loss of 3. Out of the backfield, Asiata is ridden down a couple yards shy of the first. Whitehead forces them to punt.
Tyre Whitehead, 59, never comes off the field. I tell you, sometimes in this league, it's so fast and you got to just be all out every play for a guy like him to stay in there in every situation. Good player, great endurance.
Watch out for Andre Roberts. Had his 2nd punt return for a touchdown just last week. Lock into punt. Snap from Kevin McDermott. Good looking punt. Versus the fair catch at the 29. So a 50-yard boot. And 9:50 to go in the second. tonight's 19th annual Phil Simms Turkey Bowl at the Garden Bowl here in Detroit, and they're your winners.
They're the
Thomas,
champions.
Katie McGuire, Mike Arnold.
Mike Arnold, our director. Katie does all the work for it, organizes. Thank you, Katie. But Mike Arnold came through. Usually in the final game, we put 3 groups together. They roll off for the championship. Everybody gets so tight. The scores are awful. Mike Arnold bowled a 199 to be the championship team and the champion bowler of the night.
Here's the fake handoff to Riddick as Stafford has Tate all alone. Breaks the tackle. And finally ridden down at the 29.
Really good job by Golden Tate. He's going to fake going out and then turns it up. There it is. They lost him because they thought he was going across the field. And not only that, protection, the throw by Stafford. So you let him go right away. Zadejo says, oh, he's going across the field. I'll pass him off to somebody. And they cleared it out. Well-designed play. Excellent throw by Matt Stafford.
Picks up a huge chunk, 41 on the play. Open lane here. Riddick into the secondary and fighting for every inch. And another first down. Matthew Mulligan, one of the tight ends, helped throw a block. Gain of 12.
You said it, Matthew Mulligan, 82. Top of your screen, just stays with this guy. And that running game off to a good start for the Detroit Lions.
Non-existent last week, 56 yards here in the first half today. And there's Riddick wide to the right. He's got 5 carries for 30. What basically is a running play. You foreshadowed that. No gain for Riddick. Who would have guessed that Stafford would be second all-time most passing yards per game behind Breeze and ahead of Peyton Manning?
I don't know if I'd have thought he'd been this high, but
You knew he'd be up there.
yeah, he'd be up there. One, you had Calvin Johnson. They trailed in a lot of games. They put up big yards, some phenomenal games throwing the football, even early in his career. If that number goes down, that would probably be a good sign. That means they're running the football and controlling the game.
Second and 10. It over to Bolden. Lost his footing, but makes the grab. And he's got a 7-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 3 coming up.
Well, they had a little blitz that time, and it's hard to get there when these quarterbacks get rid of it so quick. And it's one of the things I marveled at getting ready for this game. And look, you know, I played a little in the league too, but to grab that football and to get a good grip on it and still throw it on target as fast as Bradford and Stafford do says something.
Got to get to the 7 for the first.
Rocky! No, Rocco! Rocco!
Goes to the end zone. Off the hands. Marvin Jones. Waynes might have got a hand in there.
Yep. Throw was a little bit behind, but Trey Waynes is playing some tight coverage. Oh, nice move by Marvin Jones. Just throws it a hair behind, and Waynes, what a job recovering. He was fooled, but made the recovery. He knocked the football down.
Well, he had perfect placement with that hand.
Oh, and he knows it. Matt Stafford says you don't get many chances like that.
Here's Prater, 29-yard field goal. Big part of the story in the win at Minnesota. 3, including the tying kick from 58 out at the end of regulation. So chip shot field goal is good. 10-7 Lions.
Hi, I'm Hala Tingata of the Detroit Lions. Along with my wife, Christina, and my sons, Sam, Max, and Colt, and the entire Lions community, we'd like to wish you and your family a Happy Thanksgiving!
That's a wonderful family portrait. They got their hands full with those 3 boys. You
Boy,
know that.
do they ever. You know what? I think this big guy can handle it. What do you think?
Oh, no question.
He's having a good season, healthy.
And happy at home with that beautiful bunch.
I can see why. Yep.
So the Lions have now scored on 36 straight red zone drives. 29-yard field goal set up by that 41-yard connection. Bradford to Tate. Sam Martin handles the kickoff chores. And Patterson looking for any kind of crease. It's not there this time. Fails to get to the 20.
Well, Jim, next-gen stats. Let's watch Cordero Patterson, the longest play in the NFL this year, 104 yards. He ran 135, but he's got a bigger role in this football team now. And Mike Zimmer talked about it last night. Because of this explosiveness and what he can do with the football, they got to find ways to get him some passes, reverses, whatever, 4 or 5 times a game at minimum.
Yeah, that was just 4 days ago in the game against Arizona. They had 2 100-yard plays, and you saw it there. The first time since Dallas in a 1962 game, a team had 2 touchdowns that covered at least 100 yards in a game.
Defense 12 men in formation. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And the other touchdown was the Xavier Rhodes interception return that covered 100. Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, guys, you talked about the injuries to this Minnesota offensive line. Well, out there right now at center is Nick Easton. That's because Joe Berger is in the locker room being evaluated for concussion. Berger is from Michigan and wanted nothing more than to be out here today, guys.
And the story, the saga of this offensive line just continues. Look at this, slipping through tackles. McKinnon, that's the kind of effort they've been looking for. And Nick Easton, Tracy just spoke of, threw a nice block to help him gain 7. Tonight, treat yourself to a family comedy with all the trimmings. A hilarious new episode of Life in Pieces tonight at 9:30, 8:30 Central on the #1 network in America.
Well, the good thing for... It's not a good thing, but Nick Easton, at least he gets into the game every once in a while. He can be the 3rd tight end, so he's used to the action.
Rocco!
Move McKinnon out of there. And Bradford looks down the sideline, and it is pulled down by Rhett Ellison, who gets to his feet and takes it to the Detroit 44, just his 7th catch of the year and his longest one. Goes for 25.
Comes down the sideline. Tavon Wilson on the coverage, and a great spot, but when you throw it behind these receivers, tight ends, it doesn't matter anymore. They all can just in the air and make the catch.
And he was touched. There was contact there, so they're going to bring that back to the 49. So it'll be a 21-yard gain. You could say body contact. Wilson.
Yep.
Still from the Lions' side of the field. Bradford, a hot 9 out of 10 beginning. Make it 10 out of 11. Patterson. Boy, he paused for a moment. I thought maybe he was going to turn around and launch it down the field.
Yeah, well, listen,
but Patterson, no gain with that catch.
When he comes in and gets in a situation like that, your antennas have to go up on the defensive side, and I'm sure they are alert to it because that's the #1 thing they like to do for him. Put him in the slot, throw him screen passes.
Get that shoe back on, get back out onto the field. Not this snap. 2nd down and 9. Bradford. Good protection. And that ball was tipped, I believe. Plus we got a flag.
The ball was tipped.
Threw the flag right where the pass was intended to go, but if that ball was deflected, it could nullify a possible pass interference call.
That's exactly right.
Pass interference. Number 59 defense. Automatic. First down.
Let's check and see if anybody got a hand on it.
Oh, it was tipped. There's no doubt about it. Number 91, Ashawn Robinson. Yeah.
Well, it will go as a penalty at the 41. And there's been a challenge flag thrown by Jim Caldwell because that deflection should take the interference call out of play.
Detroit is challenging the ruling on the field of pass interference due to the ball being tipped. We'll review the play.
We'll win that one.
After review, the pass was tipped. Therefore, by rule, there cannot be pass interference. It's an incomplete pass. It will be 3rd and 8 at the 48-yard line. Detroit is not charged with a timeout.
So Ashawn Robinson getting a hand on it.
Yep.
Takes a penalty away. So the Lions felt like they had a couple of bad breaks on that first drive of the afternoon by the Vikings. That's one that wasn't seen down on the field, but the replay rightfully overturns it. No flag, and 3rd and 9 we'll call it, as Bradford was across the middle. Thielen unable to get all the way there. A couple yards short.
Big decision. What will they do? Will they go for it on 4th down? Mike Zimmer. It's in that what do you do zone, and they're going to go for it.
4 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, you know, I think if it was me, I would probably punt the football. Knowing my defense is how strong it is and whatever, Matt Stafford's been a little hot with the football, the offense, I'd back him up here in this situation.
Asiata is the running back. 4th and a long 2. Looking to go up top. And again is tipped at the line, and the Lions defense makes the play. It was Haloti Ngata. Got a hand on it. Lions take over on downs. This Saturday on CBS. Wish them all the very best for Auburn and Alabama. And now here come the Lions from the 42. Good piece of running that time by Washington. Boy, he stayed low. He was able to shoot ahead for 8.
Yeah, somebody else has done some good running today. It's Matt Stafford, and we identified this early. A little break in the pocket. You see that open lane. Take it as a quarterback. They gave him a touchdown. A big first down run here. I think it was on 3rd and 10. And once again, outside, buys extra time. It makes the perfect throw down the field to Golden Tate.
2nd and 2.
You know, Mike Zimmer went for that last play saying, okay, put the pressure on my defense. Can they come through this situation with a short field?
Sideline again, and almost turning around in time. Andre Roberts would have been a huge gain.
I think that they get their feet tangled up. Andre Roberts, top of the screen, and Trey Waynes just tripped and fell. Oh, another touchdown, and he knows it.
Now they'll face a 3rd and 2. Riddick, what a block or tackle by Kendricks. He kept him short. I thought for sure Riddick would find a way to cut the slash for the first.
Well, they're going to have a decision. It's almost like a little pick on the outside. It is, but how about Kendricks in this tackle?
Lions offense is staying out here on 4th down.
So they're going to do the same thing, and then a little shorter distance, that's for sure. So the run is definitely in play. They're going to have to run a play here. And Jim Caldwell's going to have a timeout to think about this.
Calls that timeout at 2:07. NFL fans, you can order your holiday gifts from NFLshop.com today and save up to 25% off at the official store of the NFL, NFLshop.com. So will the Lions end up going for it here?
Yeah, it's less than one yard, so it's a little different than the situation Mike Zimmer had. Well, let's see what they're going to do.
Making changes, but it's just a whole new fleet of linemen and running backs there with Washington coming in.
And you know, I would say whatever you do, I think I would try, they got to have a play, something deceptive, because inside, when you talk about this defense, Stephen, Linval, Joseph, these guys are hard to move and get that yard on. So
they go inside with Zach Zinner, and this is close. Looks like they're going to spot him short.
It is close, and it was just Robinson just jumped inside, made the play. Zinner actually got more than he got, a little extra foot or so after the contact. It might have saved him. Kind of hard to see. I've been wrong on one prediction earlier today, so I'll wait. He's short.
Wow.
Wasn't even one of the big guys inside. It was Robinson from the outside that made the play.
Zimmer's defense answers back with a 4th down stop of its own. During the break, Jim Caldwell challenged the spot. Since the snap came on the north side of the 2-minute warning, it actually ran down to 159, and they reset it at 2. But since it's on the north side, they could still challenge it. And now Cheffers will come out with the ruling.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. The ball is short of the line to gain. First down, Minnesota. Detroit is charged with a timeout. And because this is their second challenge, they are out of challenges for the remainder of the game.
Well, let's watch Brian Robinson. 4th and short. Beats the extra lineman inside. That was Corey Robinson who came in the game, and boy, what a good job of anticipating the snap. Caught me by surprise giving it to the fullback too.
So the Vikings, a full allotment of timeouts. 2 minutes to go, near midfield, and they begin this series with a loss. Patterson with 3 Lions on them in a hurry and a loss of 4. Coming up, the Verizon halftime report. JB and all the crew back in New York. They've been feasting on their holiday dinner in the first half.
No, JB's on a very strict diet. He wouldn't be.
Well, some of the guys are making up for what.
Yeah, Boomer and the other, Bart,
exactly.
They'll make up for it. Yes, Tony, he watches what he eats. The other two eat everything they see.
It's all coming up. Verizon halftime report, 2nd and 14. Ball came out. Was it a catch? Ruled incomplete on the field. So Wilson takes off, but it doesn't matter. Thielen.
Boy, Josh Bynes, he comes across the field, he reads its zone, he pulls up. Oh, the bobbling of the football led him into Josh Bynes where he takes a big hit. And when you're going to play like this on offense, you know, when you're measured, a lot of short passes, draws, whatever you're going to do, you can't afford drop passes. It's hard to overcome them. Every time they've been in a situation like this, the defensive line getting a tremendous push in front of Sam Bradford.
On 3rd and 14. Get underneath. Rudolph nowhere near first, right at the 50. So the Lions have only 1 timeout. And they have just taken it.
Well, 2 teams that went for it on 4th, failed both times, and the defense has bailed them out.
You almost think when you're doing a Lions game, hey, can we just pick this thing up at the start of the 4th quarter? Because every game, it comes down to the 4th quarter. All 10 of them so far.
Well, you know what? I'm not rooting for him, but I hope it happens that way today here too. It comes down to the last of the 4th quarter, but you know, pretty crisply played. But when you look at the teams, it's almost like watching the same team on both sides, isn't it?
Very similar.
The short passes, defensive lines are the big part of their team, the strength of their team, and offense designed around protecting their offensive lines.
Not exactly what the old black and blue division used to
that's right.
bring you every Sunday. Fair catch by Roberts at the 14. And there they are. They don't have their plates in front of them, but they have their highlight sheets and all the information they're ready to go up with on the Verizon halftime report.
How come they're always smiling and laughing when we
They have a good time.
They do?
Yeah, they love it.
Well, two teams, Minnesota, talking to the players, Mike Zimmer, they were still steaming over the fact that 18 days ago they let a game get away from them against these Lions at the end of the game.
Number 14, no timeouts. That's Riddick. Nice wiggle to pick up the first down and 11 yards.
Theo Riddick is awesome in the passing game, and that's a good drive starter. Drop back and just give him a short pass.
Stafford again, complete to Jones, clock running. And Stafford faced that situation 2.5 weeks ago at Minnesota from his own 30 with 30 seconds to go with no timeouts, and he got him in range to see Prater then tie the game from 58 yards out. So he's already once this season done some impressive things with no timeouts late in the going against the Vikings. By the way, at halftime, there's Andy Grammer. He's going to be performing here live, and you'll see that coming up.
It's looking great. I know one thing. I don't think Mike Zimmer's going to make the mistake he made in that last drive a couple weeks ago when he rushed 3 guys, gave Matt Stafford extra time, and he fired one down the middle of the field to get him into overtime.
Yeah, in fact, the Lions scored in the last 5 seconds of each half in that game, and getting out of bounds.
That clock keeps running because he was going backwards. That's right.
Roberts, who made the mistake earlier, dropping the pass, did not just step out. He waited. The contact was there. There's a spike at 15 seconds.
The contact pushed him backwards. That's a proper call.
The crowd doesn't understand that, but it was the right call.
Forward progress. Here we go. Forward progress is stopped. Or he gets there. He's going to turn up the field or try to go inside, so he gets knocked backwards.
He planted his foot to try to make an inside cut, and then once there's contact, that's where they spot it.
You know what? I'm sure they've gone over that rule with them 100 times in practice, but you get in the game.
Well, just remember, Prater has the longest field goal in NFL history. Their kicker. Stafford's pass is over the head of Ebron.
Trey Wayne's on him.
Yeah, again, scored in the last 5 seconds of each half at Minnesota. Prater had a 64-yarder when he was kicking for the Denver Broncos, a game we called to set the all-time record, to break the mark that had first been set by Tom Dempsey decades ago.
Well, all you want to do here, 10 seconds, don't let them go out of bounds, and the defense doing the right thing. Everybody lined up and down the sidelines.
Well, from here, could you possibly see 67 yards if they don't complete anything? Stafford's pass is over the head of everyone. Prater wants it. Prater's already walking out onto the field. He's a couple of yards onto the field.
Jim, just real quick, I would try it, because but look what they do. Everybody lined up along the sidelines to make sure they don't get any chance to throw the ball and pick up 5, 6, 8 yards or whatever to give Prater a chance.
Nope. They're not going to go for what would be the new record had he made it by 3 yards. 4th down, 5 seconds to go. The last time we saw the end of a half in this stadium, the two of us, was the end of that Green Bay, Detroit last December. The Hail Mary completion for the win. Rodgers to Rodgers. This is Stafford to the end zone. And it's intercepted. Or was he out of bounds? They say incomplete. Sendejo jumps in front to end the half. It's only important if you're starting the Minnesota defense today.
Well, they kept
not
pressure.
Get the second foot down.
They kept pressure on Matt Stafford, so he couldn't wait and just throw it in the middle of the field, give all of his guys a chance to catch it.
So it's a 10-7 lead for the Lions at halftime. And we'll be back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Game day makes football family. And this holiday season, the NFL is celebrating football families and the incredible ways that game day brings people together. You just saw the story of 13-year-old Detroit Powell Youth Football League player Kalik Hamilton and his football family. Please welcome Kalik, Antrese, Waymond, and Lewis to their first Lions game. And now, as part of a special Thanksgiving Day celebration, please welcome multi-platinum international pop artist Andy Grammer.
I got these fresh eyes, never seen you before like this. My God, you're beautiful. It's like the first time when we opened the door for we got used to you. It might seem superficial, stereotypical man. You dress up just a little and I'm like, oh damn. So suddenly I'm in love with a stranger. I can't believe she's mine. And now all I see is you with fresh eyes, fresh eyes. And so suddenly I'm in love with a stranger. I can't believe she's mine. And now all I see is you with fresh eyes, fresh eyes. If I could bottle this up, bottle this up, I would bottle this up, bottle this up, I would. 'Cause you're gorgeous in this moment. If I could bottle this up, I would. I said, so suddenly I'm in love with a stranger. I can't believe that she's mine. And now all I see is you with fresh eyes, fresh eyes. Said, so suddenly I'm in love with a stranger. I can't believe she's mine. And now all I see is you with fresh eyes, fresh eyes. Let's go. I've been grinding so long, been trying this here for years. And I got nothing to show, just climbing this rope right here, right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain. But I've been sending up prayers, something's changed. I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life now. My dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting for this moment, yeah. It's good to be alive right about now. Woo! Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Yo, hallelujah, let that bass line move you. Say yeah, good to be alive right about now. I almost cannot handle it. I could get used to this, and I think I finally found mine. See, yeah. Right about now. Woo! Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Yo, hallelujah, let that bass line move you. See, yeah. said, nah, honey, I'm good. I can have another, but I probably should not. I got somebody at home. It's been a long night here and a long night there. These long legs, damn near everywhere. Hold up, now you look good, I will not lie. If you ask where I'm staying tonight, gotta be like, oh baby, nah baby, you got me all wrong, baby. My baby's already got all of my love. So nah, honey, I'm good. I can have another, but I probably should not. I got somebody at home, but if I stay, I might not leave alone. Nah, honey, I'm good. I can have another, but I probably should not. I got what you would do to another. I'll stay true. Another, but I probably should not. I got somebody at home. If I stay, I might not leave alone. Nah, honey, I'm good. I can have another, but I probably should not. I gotta be you to another. I'll stay I will stay true.
One of these teams will have the NFC North Division lead alone in about an hour and a half. It's 10-7 Detroit advantage at the intermission. We got off to this great start here. Each team taking their opening possession right down the field, scoring touchdowns, and only a field goal after that by Prater.
Well, then the defense is stiffened up, and of course, I think the offensive line. You look at Minnesota, they're playing a game out there. They have to be scared of their offensive line. So play calling, play design, very limited. Tough to win games when you got to play almost perfect to score points.
Of course, the Lions winning the first matchup just 18 days ago, as you see the first half stats, and a win here, if it goes Detroit's way, not only be a game up, but of course they have the head-to-head, the sweep advantage over the Vikings. So it'd be huge either way, but Detroit could take a pretty good sized lead here with 5 games to go after this one if they win it. 218 total yards offense for Detroit, led by Stafford's 15 of 26 for 154.
Yeah, that and the fact that Stafford's run for 17 yards, his movement, the Lions had many more chances for plays down the field than the Minnesota Vikings, who really didn't have any. So Bart Scott said something interesting in half. Sometimes you got to keep some extra guys in to help the offensive line to give the quarterback a chance to throw it deep down the field. Pretty good thought.
So Sam Martin boots it to the back of the end zone and over the head of Patterson. We'll see the Vikings from the 25, and we'll see what Tracy learned at halftime.
Well, Jim, I spoke with both coaches, and both said they needed to go for it on 4th down. What Mike Zimmer said to me is, we're trying to win the game. We're trying to take back the conference. That is our goal. As far as the 17 rushing yards for the Vikings, he said, we want it to be balanced, but if we have to throw the ball on every down, that is what we're going to do. Jim?
Well, the offensive line already on the Minnesota side, seeing the loss of starting center Joe Berger. And with Easton moving in, take his place, Berger now has been officially ruled out for the rest of the game as Bradford throws on the run to Thielen. And he's got the first down yardage with that catch for 10.
Well, that was a good job just moving the pocket, little play action fake, get Sam Bradford, don't let him stand back there every play, and where the defensive line knows where to attack. And if you watch it, and Jim, you know, this is the offense he's comfortable with. This is really what he ran at Oklahoma, what he feels best in, spreading the football out, being in the shotgun, and just getting rid of the football quick.
5th catch of the game for Adam Thielen. Now they'll run it. McKinnon, jump cut. And a flag comes flying in there. The Vikings were not penalized once in that first half.
Holding. Number 82 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And the first infraction goes against Rudolph.
You know, just to go back to that point about this offense, don't forget last year Sam Bradford was in Philadelphia, Chip Kelly, Pat Shurmur, the new offensive coordinator, was there, so they used they brought some of those plays, Chip Kelly plays, to this offense since Pat Shurmur has took over.
And again, Shurmur and Bradford working without that young man right there, Stephon Diggs, who had 40 catches the last 4 games. He's out with a knee. Rudolph with a grab for about 4. Diggs just had this record, too. In a 2-game stretch, he became the first player in the history of the league to go back-to-back games with at least 13 receptions in each game.
Well, do they miss him? Yeah, of course they do. I mean, look at that, 67 catches, and when you see this spread offense, and Diggs, excellent from the inside receiver position. That's where he played a lot and got a lot of his catches. Miss his presence out there in the field today.
2nd and 16. And cutting to the outside. That's McKinnon to about the 37. It'll set up 3rd down. And 3rd and 8 to go here for the Vikings.
Raphael Bush, a rookie, making the tackle. The Lions play a lot of young defensive backs. Glover Quinn, number 27, is in charge of getting all these young guys lined up. Can't be easy.
Call it 3rd and 9, actually, as they swing it over to McKinnon, and he's decked right away. Only 2 wide receivers have catches in this game for Minnesota. Thielen with 5 and Patterson with 3. Otherwise, it's been backs and tight ends.
Well, the old cliche, they fall behind the chains, and they cannot overcome. Now, there's a good example. Sam Bradford wasn't even going to hold it and look for anybody down the field. Catch and throw, make a mistake, a penalty, lose yards. Usually ends up in a punt.
So the left-footed booter clock. His 3rd punt. It's a nice one, too. Back to the 9. Roberts can't find clearance. Johnson's got him wrapped up. And Patterson there as well. A couple of wide receivers on the coverage. 52-yard punt held to a 2-yard return. See this arena under construction as just across the highway here from Ford Field. A lot of excitement here in Detroit. It was announced just here in the last couple of days that the Pistons will be moving back into the city and share this arena with the Red Wings, bringing all 4 Major League sports teams to downtown.
Pretty awesome.
It really is. There's Detroit, really, last few years, made tremendous progress. This downtown area thriving and playing host to its annual parade through the streets of the city today.
Well, yeah, we made the comment just driving over here, looking at the downtown, the city. You can see a lot of new places, a lot more people hanging out. Of course, it's been 2 years since, well, we were here once last year and the year before. But you can see the difference in all the buildings. Pretty cool.
Yeah, great to see. 2nd and 8.
Tell it. Hey, drop it right there. Ready? Waiting.
5 coming after him, and they get to him. That is Anthony Barr. He found an opening and took dead aim at Stafford.
Yep, number 55, Anthony Barr, comes around. Nice, quick move, timed up the snap. Mike Zimmer said we got to get some pressure, especially inside. And Matthew Stafford never saw him.
That is the first sack of the game for either side.
Tell you the other thing too, you know, you talk about, oh, let's start doing this and that. Both corners, the corners for both teams really are having very solid days covering these wide receivers outside.
3rd and 16. Quick pass on the slant. It's Tate in traffic and taken down by 3 Vikings, including Captain Munnerlyn. And they'll have to punt.
Well, you know, Mike Zimmer, he said to us, you talked about it earlier, Jim, he said he took a lot of responsibility for that loss to Detroit up in Minnesota a couple weeks ago, and he's never afraid. In other words, he's going to err on the side of being aggressive. He said that to Tracy Wilson, trying to win a game, win a division.
Here's Martin. That was Treadwell who got close to him. Fair catch last moment by Thielen. Downtown Detroit, it's alive and excited. It's Lions leading it by a field goal. A Better Made Snack Foods, a Detroit icon for over 85 years. Yes, all the chips on the table here for the NFC North, with these teams coming in 6-4, sharing the division lead. The Lions, as always, in a close game. Here's Frankfurt dumping it off to McKinnon with open field. No one near him until he gets inside the 30. And that's going to be the biggest gain of the game for Minnesota, 41.
Here goes Cordero Patterson down the sideline, and McKinnon comes across and out, and nobody picks him up. It's one of the few times today that I was getting ready to make a comment. They can't even run the ball well enough to make Detroit bring any safeties or extra people near the line of scrimmage. That time they played man-to-man coverage. They lost McKinnon, and it ended up in a big play.
From the 20. Right back to McKinnon. To that 41-yard sprint. They clog it up this time. Hold them to 1.
Well, if you keep throwing it short, sooner or later somebody's going to break one. But how about this? Weeks 1 through 8, completions. How far did the ball travel? 6.4. The last 3 weeks, only 4 yards in the air when the completions are made. So to say it's quick passing is an understatement. Targets, 8 to the wide receivers for 39 yards.
Second and 9. Diving, reaching out, grab, first of the game for Charles Johnson.
Charles Johnson getting some playing time, a little more with Stephon Diggs out, and what a catch.
Well, he just a short while ago made the tackle on Detroit's punt return attempt. And now he reaches out, snags that one. Short gain, but a beautiful catch. 3rd and 5. Vikings have not converted on 3rd down today. And they're still short of it. Asiata ridden down by Killebrew.
They're just trying to clear it out, maybe get a chance to throw it underneath to break a tackle. No doing.
Going to go for the tying field goal, 4th and 1. Kai Forbath just signed a little more than a week ago. Had just one field goal attempt last week against Arizona. Made it from even closer than this. This is 30 yards out. Make last week from 27. Forbath kicking for his 3rd team. The Redskins sanked a little bit, and he's able to knock it through to knot this game at 10. 7 minutes to go in the 3rd. Battling it out here. Vikings and the Lions.
Hi, I'm Captain Mullen from the Minnesota Vikings with my wife Lakeisha and my son Champ. And on behalf of the Viking organization, we'd like to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving.
Well done, Captain. You get a moment like that, too, to get your child on television.
Yep, well done.
That's very special.
Yeah, it was. Very special. Nice hat, too. I like the hat. I don't think I could pull that off. Do you?
Well, you got to try first, but I would guess no.
Everybody in the truck saying, how could you? Your head's too big. Well, that's the idea, to hide my head. You know, they're full of compliments.
Now they're saying they would be all for that. Roberts. Dangerous return. And you're getting a reason why. Oh, no. How about that tackle?
Laquan Treadwell, I think, got it. No,
Anthony Harris.
Anthony Harris, 41.
Oh, boy, it was something, though. Looked like for a moment he might be able to get into some open space.
It's kind of 10-10. It's a playoff atmosphere. And Matt Stafford, he knew it was close. You know, even talking to Harrison Smith, the safety for the Minnesota Vikings, outstanding player. He said what was great about playing today. Of course, it's Thanksgiving. Wanted to be in it, but he goes, it's a playoff game. That's the way he looked at it, the way their team is.
Stafford completes it to Bolden for about 9. And that's Captain Munnerlin on the tackle. We just saw Captain and his family, his little baby girl. Guess what? Matthew Stafford and his wife Kelly have a set of identical twin girls on the way come March. He met his wife Kelly down at the University of Georgia. She was a cheerleader there, and they were so excited about becoming parents here just a few months away. It's a 10-yard pass play to move the chains. Now Riddick thought about going outside, but he saw Rhodes would be waiting for him. Darted ahead for only one. Sendejo and others. Here's a look from our nationwide sky cam.
That's a good look. That's about how you and I, almost where we are watching this game.
Got to get right there. Not quite hovering, but set back a little bit. Beautiful stadium here. Ford Field. It's played host to a Super Bowl and a Final Four. North Carolina won a championship here, 2009. Second and 9. Stafford's pass had to unload it quickly with Bolden to target because Harrison Smith was chasing after him. Safety blitz.
Really good blitzing's about timing and spacing. They give him an open lane. He timed it. Matthew Stafford saw the blitz coming, was trying to make a change in the call, but didn't work. Minnesota, like we talked about with Mike Zimmer, not going to sit back, starting to get a little more aggressive with his defensive play calls.
3rd and 9. Lions look so sharp on that opening touchdown drive, kept it for over half the first quarter, and now not able to get in sync like that again, and they'll punt.
No, coverage is awesome, and you know, Trey Waynes on the outside has had a good day. Xavier Rhodes hasn't seen many thrown at him, but he's had a tremendous year. Boy, Mike Zimmer, he has a way with defensive backs. There's no doubt about it.
Talk about adjustments. After the Lions converted on their first 4 third down attempts, they've missed on their last 6.
It's twice they've almost got to the punter.
Martin moving it back to Thielen. And Thielen trying to go wide. Look out. It's going to cost him. And again, they're without Marcus Sherrills, who had 2 punt returns already on the season. He's out with injury. Miles Killebrew on the coverage. 51-yard punt. 10-10 game. 5 minutes to go, third quarter. Vikings are going to start back at their own 14. Having tied the game here in the third quarter on Kai Forbath's 30-yard field goal. Bradford with the single season highest completion percentage in Viking history. Over 70% and sharper than that today, albeit with a lot of short throws. That's honestly out up the middle. And by the way, this football feast in the NFL continues with more good action. The Redskins at the Cowboys on Fox. And tonight the NBC crew will be in Indianapolis as the Steelers take on the Colts without Andrew Luck.
Yeah, Andrew Luck out again. You know, but it was interesting you said that about the quarterback, the percentage he's hitting. One thing Mike Zimmer loves about this offense, it's careful, not turning the football over, and you can see why when you watch it here today.
That little wildcat here. It's McKinnon taking the handoff and running around onside. And galloping out to about the 26, but we have a flag on the field.
Thought we might see some Wildcat today. Saw it last week. It worked pretty well. They ran a little unbalanced. They ran the Wildcat 2 different ways. Don't forget who the offensive line coach is, the Minnesota Vikings, Tony Sperano, and he's...
There's no foul on the play. Third down. First down.
First down, because it was a 10-yard run by McKinnon, which is Minnesota's longest rush today. Look where Bradford is at the top up there, Phil.
Oh, here he is. I couldn't even find him. He's trying to blend into the white. Of course, he's going to stay out of the way. I've seen quarterbacks go out there and trot down the field like they're going to be part of the play, and then they get busted, and they said, okay, that'll be the end of that. Of course, last week they put him out there. They threw him a pass. It was a lateral. He threw it down the field, got pass interference. Big play in the game.
Yellow.
First down. Throws it over to Thielen. Manages 3 out of that.
Don't know if they're going to do it or not, but I said to Mike Zimmer last night, you know, they ran that Wildcat. I said, you know, Jarrett McKinnon was a quarterback in college. He goes, yeah, I know. And they ran the option and all that. And I said, maybe we'll see a pass from him tomorrow. He goes, have you seen him throw? So, wow, okay. And the way he said it, kind of, okay, so much for that thought.
Yeah, rethink that one. 2nd and 7. Play action. Backpedaling and cutting his losses and throwing it into the ground is Bradford.
Well, it was a screen. Tavon Wilson was all over it. It's all about deception, Jim. They can't just block and knock them down, so they want to throw the screen over here to Rhett Ellison. And there's Wilson, not fooled at all. So Bradford has to throw it away.
So again, the Vikings have not converted once on 3rd down today. And it called a timeout. So Bradford will talk it over with Pat Shurmur. Tonight on CBS, a festive night of comedy beginning with The Big Bang Theory, the new episodes of The Great Indoors, Mom, and Life in Pieces. It all starts tonight at 8, 7 Central. Only CBS.
Well, let's see. Minnesota 0 for 5 on 3rd downs. They're throwing it all short no matter what the distances have been, and they're getting tackled. Can somebody go 7 yards down the field and get a completion? Well, no, let me rephrase that. Can the offensive line hold him out long enough for him to throw it down the field?
He has not, to this point, been sacked. He's unloaded it so quickly. These short routes and all. 3rd and 7. Got time. Gets it away to Patterson for the first down. There's your conversion.
There it is. Caught him in man-to-man coverage. They've been playing a lot of zone, making him throw it short. It's a blitz. Good pickup. Excellent job that time by Asiata, the fullback, or the running back. Patterson in the slot. I don't care who you are, defensive back. You got to worry about him going deep down the field. That's a rookie Diggs trying to cover him.
Detroit brought a lot of players to the line, and Asiata absolutely fights to get past all of those Lions players and squeeze out 4 yards.
Well, Pat Shurmur really just trying to...
How about all the ties between Shurmur and Bradford?
Yeah, that's right.
For a 3rd time.
3rd time, 3 teams. Drafted to St. Louis. They reunited in Philadelphia, and here they are in Minnesota. So they know each other well, and they know what he knows what Sam Bradford likes to throw.
2nd and 6. Thielen
Crosses the first down yardage and midfield. And the Vikings putting a little drive together that began back at their 14.
Yep.
Highest single season completion percentage. Minnesota history. There's Bridgewater, there's Favre in 09. Dante Culpepper over 69%.
Wow. Which was something back in 2004 to hit that kind of percentage, and he wasn't throwing checkdowns, that's for sure.
And with his performance today, he's now over 70. As Patterson takes it on the reverse. Look at him weave through traffic. Wow. Beautiful run by Cordero Patterson, who Mike Zimmer said in the offseason, we got to get him more involved in just special teams.
Number one pick, just he comes around here. It's not blocked great. Like here you said, oh, they're in trouble, but he makes a good cut inside. Boy, for a big, tall receiver, very quick. And his change of direction, well, at least the handoff and the pitch were all perfect. Seeing Patterson finally become part of this offense here today.
Yeah, that was a 22-yard reverse. His 5th rush of the season, longest one he's had. Has Asiata bust up the middle. Has another big gainer, and they're gashing the Lions on this series.
Yeah, good little trap play that time. This is what the Lions did to Minnesota in the first game almost, and caught him up the middle. The guard pulled, trapped it.
They're not going to run another play.
Excellent block by Alex Boone.
Little third quarter break, change of ends might give this Lions defense much needed rest. You're watching the NFL on CBS. And again, the standings as we start the fourth quarter. It's the first time the Lions have been in first place on Thanksgiving since 1993. And we got a little Wildcat action here to start the fourth. Chad Nance, Sims, Tracy Wolfson, Jay Feely, as McKinnon in danger of losing yardage with a flag out, able to scramble back to the line.
Well, it's a new play out of the Wildcat. Hadn't seen that one yet.
Vikings had only 17 yards rushing in the first half, but had 63 in that third quarter.
Personal foul, chop block, number 68 offense, 15-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Called on Clemmings.
Yep. Watch them both. Clemmings, the left tackle. He goes low as he's engaged with Alex Boone.
And you can see right away, Stephon Charles put his arms up in the air like, wait a minute, he can't do that.
He's right.
And he was right, and they saw it. So that takes some steam out of this drive. That brings them all the way back to the 25.
Well, we've seen today they've had a hard time overcoming any adversity on the offensive side. And then I would think Detroit would play very safe on the defensive side. Just make them catch it short, tackle them, and make them kick a field goal.
Saw McKinnon limping. First and goal, 25 yards away. And Bradford just gets a small portion back. 4 to Thielen.
You know, the idea, yes, short passes, protect the offensive line. But if you keep throwing them, Jim, sooner or later somebody's going to break a tackle, you think, right? But Detroit today has been excellent, not giving up many yards after the catch.
Second and goal at the 21. Again, short gain. Detroit defense without the services again of DeAndre Levy. Big part of their defense. He's out with a knee. But they're giving him these little plays.
Yep, that's right. Give them the short ones. They're happy. Give them 2 completed passes.
There's Levy.
Saw him practice a little bit yesterday. Looks like he's getting close to getting back on the field and playing for this defense.
Big part of this defense a couple of years ago, but they just can't get him healthy. Love to have him back. Third and goal. And Rudolph is again managed. He shut him down near the 10, and now the Vikings will come out with Forbath, another short field goal, somewhere around 28, 29 yards. for the lead and to give the Lions the same script they've had every game this year if he makes it. That would be having trailed in the fourth quarter of every game.
So are you trying to tell me now they feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're
in their comfort zone.
Yes. Go ahead, let them score.
No, I really, there is something to that. The pressure's on them. They let it go.
From 28, the kick is good. Minnesota's first lead of the game comes 2.5 minutes into the final quarter. At the end of the game, as always, one player will be selected as the Phil Simms All-Iron Most Valuable Player.
That's right.
You fans can help decide the winner by voting at CBSSports.com.
Great trophies. Now, of course, I always you're the chairman.
I am.
You're the chairman.
Is that a paid position?
I'm a CEO.
I see.
Yeah. No, it's charity work, man.
Okay.
Come on.
What is the charity?
CBS.
But listen, what are you saying? We're going to get the fans to vote on CBS.
Yes, we'll get the fans to vote. Of course,
you have a little bit of a say-so here in the end.
Yeah, at the end, we might pick more than one guy, of course, and it's a great award. Started here in Detroit. Stephen Boyd, a linebacker, won it because he was hurt, wasn't going to play. He played, made a lot of tackles. Came in on a field goal team, but he wasn't supposed to be out there because they didn't have enough guys. Did all the little things to win the game.
Well, you brought up a little-known nugget there with Stephen Boyd. So I've got some other ones for you. You've already given away the first one.
Okay.
Who is the only multiple winner?
It has to be somebody from Detroit or Dallas. I'm going to say Tony Romo.
Tony Romo. Not twice.
Three times.
And who was the first quarterback to win it?
Who's the first quarterback to win it? I do not know. Charlie Batch. I wouldn't have got it.
Hey,
Boy,
Charlie Batch.
Charlie Batch, I remember. That was exciting. Man, he was emotional after the game, if you remember, because it was such a big win for him.
Just saw Charlie in the last week. He's doing just super.
Great guy.
Business of his own.
Pretty good pro quarterback. Hung around a long time.
He always delivered coming in. Impressed. Oh, and look at the Vikings defense swarming after. Stafford taken down by Anthony Barr would be the first to get to him. He had that sack earlier. A loss of 10.
Anthony Barr coming to the outside just beats the running back Washington that time, and this is what they wanted to do today. They wanted to pressure Matt Stafford more. They were really upset that they didn't do it in the first game, and they're doing it with 5, and we've seen it a lot here in the second half. That's why the Lions having a hard time moving the football.
I think Danielle Hunter may have been the one who gets credit for finishing that off. Sendejo was in there also. Second and 20.
Oh, Matt Stafford is upset. I don't blame him. He wants a chance to throw it deep down the field after he got him off sides with the snap count. But
neutral zone infraction. Number 97 defense unimpeded to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Yeah, it's a quick judge by the officials. Not going to argue this. Everson Griffin jumps offside. Stafford wanted that free play, which, boy, Jim, we see all the veteran quarterbacks. They use that snap count. They get a free play. They're looking to rip it down the field.
So the 5-yard mark off, second and 15. And 11 and a half on the clock. Time for what Stafford told us Tuesday, timely football. They've been playing this year in the fourth quarter. And here he is going long. And only a Viking DB is back. That was Harrison Smith.
Boy, Harrison Smith, great job of staying back. And the blitzing here in the second half has been the difference against Matt Stafford and this Lions offense. Here comes 5. Anthony Barr, boy, the speed that he comes with at the linebacker position. Harrison Smith, the safety, times it perfectly. That's what it's about. I learned that from Kevin Green, the old Steeler linebacker. He said blitzing is all about making sure everybody's spaced out and timing the snap of the quarterback's snap count. That'll get it done.
He got it done all the way to Camp. Second or third and 15. Third and 15. Can he scramble again for a first? Able to get to the mark for the second time in this game. He did it in the first half for 11 yards. He needed 15 on this occasion, and that's exactly what he got.
You lose contain up the field. I think that was Everson Griffin. You know, so you got to stay in your lanes. Now, how many times has he hurt you today? You have to talk about it a little. And it's a good job, and he made it. It's a good no contact by Harrison Smith. That was close, but if he hit him, they probably would have thrown a flag.
Maybe that'll be the spark this Lions offense needs after not much to talk about in the second half so far. And there's a little carry for Riddick. Give him 3.
Minnesota defensive line's waking up. They're in the backfield a lot now. What they're doing by getting that penetration, they're allowing Anthony Barr to make more plays.
And they're well rested, as the Vikings offense did them the favor of a 7-minute, 36-second field goal drive just a few moments ago. Kept them off the field.
Yeah, good point.
2nd and 7. Over to Jones. That pass influenced, though, by Griffin, who was in the throwing lane.
You got it. Matt Stafford had to throw around him. That's why it was incomplete. You know, he's a very good edge rusher, Everson Griffin. Well, he didn't throw it with the laces, but tremendous athlete. Plays a lot of plays. That's the one thing about Everson Griffin. He plays not every defensive snap, but about 90% of them. Pretty tough to rush the passer, consistently doing that, but he does a good job.
No catches so far for Eric Ebron. 3rd and 7. They try to surprise him with a run that is stuffed 4 yards short of the first.
This is the play they ran against Minnesota 18 days ago, and it went for like 40-some yards, and that was close. It was a trap inside against the 2 blitzers that came near the line of scrimmage. They just missed it. Of course, anytime there's a run on 3rd down that doesn't get a first down, the crowd hates it.
So punting with 9.5 to go in the game. One's going to travel about the 18, and immediate contact on Thielen. Darius Barnes right there to meet him after the 41-yard boot. Vikings with the football and the lead in the 4th. Sam Bradford and the Vikings, having come off a drive that lasted a half a quarter. Now with the lead, Bradford 13 of his last 14. And 25 of 30 for the day. There's another completion. Goes for about 8 to Johnson. What an odyssey it's been for Bradford, finding out just 9 days before the first game of the season, 8 days before it, that he had been traded for a first-round pick from Philadelphia to Minnesota. Vikings needing a quarterback after losing Teddy Bridgewater to an ACL in training camp.
Came up here the next day, started meeting with the offensive staff. It's a completely different system that he was in, so a lot of learning to do, and well, what an accomplishment to do what he's done so far this year.
2nd and 2. And Osiana is walloped and then is able to spin out of it and pick up a little bit.
You know, when he got there, too, the system, it was a system of Norv Turner that he ran for so many years as an offensive coordinator and a head coach in the NFL, and had great success, or really tremendous success in a lot of spots. And, you know, Norv Turner resigned up in Minnesota. I just want to say that he's a tremendous NFL coach.
Jeremiah Searles is on the field, needing attention. His new money. Hitsville, USA, nickname given the Motown Records. Their first headquarters, you just saw it, about 4 miles away from Ford Field. Got a big play here. 3rd and a foot for the Vikings. And look at, they hand it off to Zach Line, the fullback. And he's able to get the first. Yes, the 4th-year player out of SMU.
Well, the whole key to that, of course, they want to get this clock and keep it moving. The whole key was that first down throw. And it was a good throw to the outside by Sam Bradford.
Yardage in this half for Mike Zimmer's squad, 174 versus only 24 for the Lions. This is very similar to what happened against Arizona on Sunday for the Vikings. They held Arizona to only 27 yards in the second half after they went well over 200 in the first. First down. And they bring it to a halt. McKinnon.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
As you saw, McKinnon is back in there after pulling up Gimpy a little bit earlier.
And Mike Zimmer's got to clench his teeth and walk away from that one, because this offense, it's tough to overcome these, especially when you're trying to keep that clock moving. And Jim, you want to just stay out of those really obvious passing situations. Of course, that's their number one goal here.
1st and 15. And a throw on first down. Safe pass to Rudolph for only a couple. Rudolph with his 7th catch for 49 yards. Couldn't help but see Mike Zimmer over there at this stressful time telling us the story last night about his kids.
Yes.
His daughter emphasizing, Dad, just breathe.
Yeah. He got some essential oils, and she goes, "Oh, I'm so proud of you."
Yeah.
It was his daughter Corey who wants him to relax a little more, but hard to relax when you're coaching an NFL team.
Not right now with 6:30 to go. It's a pass play again to Rudolph. I'm going to set up 3rd and short.
Well, the story of the game is this: when you have a hard time running the football, just get rid of it quick on the short passes. But Sam Bradford has been patient all day doing this. Hasn't really thrown a ball into coverage where you went, wow, why did you make that decision?
Bradford 85% today. Third and 3. And stopped with the brilliant tackle by Bynes. He wrapped up McKinnon.
Well, they're challenging the defense. Can you tackle us before we get a yard? And the answer is yes. McKinnon coming out of the backfield, and Josh Bynes, what a good job. Wraps him up with his arms. Didn't go for the big hit or anything like that. Made the tackle knowing the situation.
Roberts. He's actually returned 2 punts this year for touchdowns, including just last week. Well, there seemed to be some confusion. Was it a fair catch signal or not? He says it absolutely was not. Officials agreed, went for the score. Good fake on him this time, but what a punt. Back at the line of scrimmage, we do have a penalty marker down.
During the kick, holding number 52, receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down, timeout.
Phenomenal punt by Locke, 57 yards. And with the penalty, the Lions will be somewhere near the 2-yard line. Well, the Lions. No offense to speak of in this second half. Now with 5 minutes remaining and down 3. Trying to pull off another fourth quarter comeback from the end zone. Stafford's pass thrown in there with heat. Out to the 9 to Tate. Let's go down to Jay Feely.
Well, Jim, last week Jeff Locke had maybe his best game as a pro. 4 punts, averaged 56 yards, a big 72-yarder at the end of that game against Arizona. Remember, Matt Prater, one of the best of all time, hitting field goals in the fourth quarter and overtime. He's never missed. 23 for 23. He's got a big leg, 64 yards long.
Hey, Jay, they had a chance if they wanted to go to Prater right before the half, 67 yards out.
He wanted to take that, but they were worried about Patterson returning it.
There you go. 2nd and 3. They've got a first down. And that burst up ahead for Riddick.
A big first down just to give yourself some room and some freedom to call the plays. Swanson, the center. Boy, they're happy with his play this year. Jim Bob Cooter calling the plays. Swanson, good leader. Really improved over last year.
Ready? Waiting.
And Riddick slipped when he made the catch. Stumbles up ahead for 2. And we've got 2 games coming your way on Sunday. Rolling out a holiday double play. Mini early, we'll see Cincinnati trying to save its season at Baltimore, and late we'll be in Oakland to see the Carolina Panthers take on the Red Hot Raiders. It all gets started at noon Eastern time with JB and all the crew with the NFL Today presented by Southwest Airlines.
Minnesota blitzed that last play. They had a free runner coming at Matt Stafford.
It's a 2nd and 8 snap. And through the hands of Jones. Back shoulder pass was, I think, where Stafford wanted to deliver it.
Oh, yeah. He threw it exactly where he wanted it. But once again, the coverage on the outside. Trey Waynes, little stutter go, is in good position. Just missed it a little high. Trey Waynes, they've gone after him quite a few times today. And he's had an outstanding game, I think, covering one-on-one outside.
Now with 3rd and 8.
Mike Zimmer does put pressure on his corners to cover one-on-one while he blitzes, gives them no help.
Boy, they're bringing everybody. Stafford able to get the pass away, and it's there on the mark. That's Bolden. But a flag is out. It's in the area where the ball was caught.
Unbelievable job in the pocket by Stafford. That play is going to be against Captain Munnerlyn for holding, I think.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 24 defense. That penalty's declined. Results of the play, 1st down.
Boy, he hung in there and completed the throw for 29 yards.
Oh, he did. Here comes the blitzers. They got them all coming, and to almost really jump in the air and make that throw just tells you about his hand and his arm, the talent. Oh, man, he actually jumped up to throw it to get himself up over the pressure.
They had just 24 yards of offense before this drive in the 2nd half, and that went for 29 alone. As we move inside, 3 minutes to go. Stafford fires it right in there to Jones, and they're already in Prater field goal range. You know what's on the Lions' minds right now with all these comebacks this season. You wonder how much Detroit's comeback prowess is on the Vikings' defensive minds.
Yeah, that's right. Watch Matt Stafford just lean back. We saw him jump and throw the ball. That time he leaned back and just, man, he throws lasers.
Best way to describe that one.
Yeah, I mean, just got whatever he wants. Throw it 98 miles an hour down the middle. He can throw a changeup.
2:15 to go. Lions have all timeouts remaining. Slinging it over to Bolden again. Bolden having a look at this effort by Bolden. And he may, in fact, get the 1st down spot as we reach the 2-minute warning. Bolden's 7th catch. 2 minutes to go. Well, the Lions, close finishes, to say the least. First 10 games, all decided by 7 points or fewer. They won 6 games while trailing in the 4th. In fact, their victory by 7 over Jacksonville last Sunday, 26-19, was the largest margin in any game this year.
Yeah, that was a blowout in their eyes. They were like, man.
It's the first time in NFL history that any team through its first 10 games had all the games decided by 7 or less. They did not get the 1st down off the Bolden catch, inches away. So coming out of the 2-minute warning, 2nd down. Stafford not to get hit from behind and throws it just a little out of reach.
Oh, boy, that was close. I don't know if he felt the backside pressure.
That was Griffin coming after him.
Yep, Taylor Decker, the left tackle. What's coming outside here? Stafford's trying to look. Well, he's moving in pocket. I think he thinks he's safe. Gets it off. That was a free play. That's what they were looking for. 2nd and short, looking for the touchdown.
Third down and less than a foot.
Hey, tag 34! Tag 34! Lady!
Backfield. Riddick is knocked back for the second time in this game. Kendricks has made a sensational play on a short throw and reception.
Well, we've seen some really terrific tackling, haven't we? Linebackers against running backs.
He's going to bring on Prater now to try to tie it with 1:40 to go.
What's his hit coming outside? And
remember Kendricks doing this earlier in this game?
Yes, I do. And I just know Mike Zimmer, hey, they got burned blitzing twice. He didn't care. He sent them again. That's what stopped him. Couldn't take a chance letting him get the first down.
Minnesota called the timeout here. Stop it at 1:40. Clock is a little out of sorts right now, and they'll adjust it. But Prater is going to have one from 48 yards to tie it. He had the 58-yarder with no time left to send the game into overtime just 18 days ago at Minnesota. Muehlbach to Martin, then off the foot of Prater, and this game is tied at 13. Good job by Martin. Prater delivers the goods. But field goals since the first quarter. Each team scoring touchdowns on their opening drive. Not seen the end zone another time since. Now, again, you've got Patterson back deep. Maybe as big a threat as there is in the league. Coming off a 104-yard return last week. Does he have a green light no matter what? No chance. Do anything with this one. So, clock actually is at 1:45 now.
Well, there's a couple things you got to look at right here. Minnesota, good timeout by Mike Zimmer. But they got to, of course, they want to go down and score, but you don't want to throw it and make some incompletions and then have to punt the ball quickly and give Stafford one more chance.
Well, Bradford's completed his last 9 passes. Again, he's had the hot hand. Staying for the most part, though, with passes of the short variety. 29 of 34 for 216 yards. 9 straight completions, 17 out of 18. And another one here, safe throw to Rudolph, who's posting monster numbers here in the catch department. That's his 9th.
He's holding that right shoulder. Kyle Rudolph coming out of the game.
Replaced by Ellison.
You don't need to be in a big rush.
Monso is about to bring the heat as Slay throws down Patterson. Gain of 3. And coming up, the Subway postgame show with JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher. All coming up on the Subway postgame show. Coach Cowher was taken off this field on the shoulders of his Pittsburgh Steelers, having won Super Bowl 40 here a decade ago.
That's right. But I was saying don't be in a big rush because the time, they're doing a good job. If you get the first down, then they got to hurry it up.
Can that banged up offensive line of the Vikings hold up here? 3rd and 2. Pass, caught, flag out as McKinnon dives out of bounds.
Wow, what a job by McKinnon getting out of bounds. And Detroit made a mistake on who's going to cover the running back going outside. That time Brandon Copeland.
Illegal formation. Number 84, offense. That player was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Well, Jim, we saw this last week in Seattle. It was a big play in the game. This could end up being a big play against Minnesota.
Third and 7. They back off the blitz. Bradford's throw is intercepted. It is picked off by Darius Slay. And then he lost the football at the end. They're ruling him down. They're saying on the field, the ball belongs to Detroit. Detroit.
Well, they trapped him. They fooled him. Darius Slay. I'm sure Sam Bradford, that penalty was huge.
Ruling on the field is the ball was intercepted. Returned by the intercepting player. He was ruled down by contact at the 20-yard line. First down, Detroit.
Look at this. Bottom of your screen, Darius Slay went down the field, then let his guy go and turn back in.
Here's the big thing, though. Did he fumble, or is he down?
Well, what a play by Slay. Let's see what happens when he...
Changing hands with the football, shifting it. Well, again, you're inside the last 2 minutes here. It's a turnover, so everything's reviewed, and they're going to let him play here.
Here we go. Very surprised. You got to look at that again. Too close.
Charge timeout, Minnesota. A 30-second timeout.
So I thought it might be an official stopping play, but Minnesota wants in fact to give them more time up top to make sure they've looked at this enough times. You can see Slay shifts the ball, tries to go from the left hand to the right hand. And Patterson reaching in.
You know, I think he is down. The knee hit. It was still in his hand. It's a quick first look.
I'm surprised that had the Vikings not called the timeout, the officials were just going to let this thing go without a closer review.
Well, that's true, Jim. Let's go back real quick and look why we got in this situation. Here's Cordero Patterson at the top of the screen. There's no tight end here. He must cover the tackle. So he's got to be on the line of scrimmage. He is not. So that penalty took away the first down, changed the situation, and Sam Bradford, for the first time all day, took a little bit of gamble, but I don't think he saw Darius Slay.
Well, you saw Stafford take a knee. And now the Lions, he's let it run down.
Boy.
And get ready for Matt Prater to come out and be a Thanksgiving Day hero.
How about they lost one 18 days ago? How they lost it. This ranks right up there with it, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. They were telling us the odds of what the Lions pulled off at Minnesota was like 0 for the last 98 similar occasions since 2001 in the league, when you had no timeouts and you had to get in field goal range from that far back. Again, the Subway postgame show is coming up right after this one. But you've got Prater coming out to end it.
Darius Slay, Matt Stafford, Darius Slay, what a play by him. He had said it early in the game. He's one of those unknown, big-time quality players in the league that just don't pay attention to. What a call by Terrell Austin, the defensive coordinator, to get this situation.
Vikings have no timeouts. They cannot come up and call one here at the last second. Prater to give the Lions the division lead and sweep the season series over the Vikings. From 40, the kick is good, and the Lions take it here, 16-13. Darius Slay with the interception to set up the game winner. Seven and 4, the Detroit Lions. Jay Feely told us at the 2-minute warning that Prater in his career in game-tying or game-ending field goal attempts, perfect on his career.
Man, how must that feel? Good feeling it gives a coach to know to have a kicker that's that clutch in these tough situations.
Well, he tied it, which was clutch enough, from 48 out with 1 minute and 45 to go in the game, and then wins it at the gun.
Got a kicker like that, a quarterback like Matt Stafford, that'll win you a few games in a year.
I don't know if you had Prater on your list for the All-Iron Award, but you said you have the right.
That's right.
To add a guy at the end.
Yeah,
I hope you give him some consideration, and Darius Slay as well.
All right, absolutely.
That's their 7th fourth quarter comeback win this season. And the 4th straight year they have won on Thanksgiving.
Just so many big plays down the stretch. Stafford, a couple big throws under blitzing situations. Darius Slay, Stafford for the throwing against the blitz. Darius Slay for his interception and good play all day long. And then, of course, we got to have the kicker too, right, Jim?
I think you got to.
Oh, absolutely. It'll be the first kicker that's ever won this award, so that's pretty cool.
Matt Prater, who originally came into the league a decade ago, was a free agent at Detroit, then kicked for years out in Denver, comes back to the Lions, and he's a hero here, as he was in the first matchup when he tied it from 58 out to send it to overtime. 16-13, the Lions win it. Coming up, the Subway postgame show. We'll take you back to New York for all the highlights from today's game. We'll come back here for the Phil Simms All-Iron MVP Award. But now, as we leave you, we're going to present our credits with photographs that are special to all of us. Whether it's Tracy Wolfson with a photo of her 3 boys, or Phil with your 3 grandchildren, or my 3 children. We all beam with pride as we say thank you, America, on this special Thanksgiving holiday.